Yo, what is good, people? It is your boy Persona. Uh, of I messed up my own intro. Yo, what is good, people? It's your boy Persona of Gaming with Persona and the Council. What's up, PlayStation.com? Your host of My Never Gamer podcast and a partner with the Online Arcade. Um, First and foremost, if you're a newcomer, welcome. If you're a regular, appreciate you for coming back. And like I always say, I'm just a gamer trying to share my experiences with the world. And it is Wednesday. It is another Wednesday. And you guys know every Wednesday when Persona speaks is always going up. And this one is going to be a pretty good one. I hope, at least. I hope it's a pretty good one. Last week's episode definitely was really good. There was a lot of good discussion, a lot of good things was talked about, and it actually wasn't kind of. It was kind of like, because like with the when Persona Speaks podcast or show, I tend to try to go with the flow. I tend to look at things that go on throughout the week, or up to Wednesday or whatever, and we talk about it, or I talk about stuff from last week, or I talk about stuff from the podcast that I couldn't talk about then. So yeah, with that, this week is definitely going to be a pretty decent week, man. Last week, we talked about the refund policies and stuff like that, the 2-hour refund. And that funny thing is that actually trickled down into a podcast question from Mind of a Gamer. Yo, Goku, what is good, bro? Yo, real quick, before we even go into anything, I got to give a big shout out to Goku. Goku was on a Plus on Block podcast yesterday with Upchuck Gaming. It was him, it was my boy King's Blood Gaming. Shout out to him. And it was Dre. Yo, Goku and man, they definitely was on there representing, man. They was on there heavy. Yo, big shout out to and Goku, man. Actually met those guys through the online arcade tournaments, man. Goku was the which one was it? His first time on the tournament was Chaos Code, and he just was beasting. And from then, I was just I was a fan, man. I'm like, yo, Goku, you are savage, bro. And man, she came through to the Street Fighter 5 tournaments, and her Nakali and her Balrog are just out of this world. No, Balrog. Balrog. Her Balrog is just out of this world. So shout out to both you guys, man. Thank you for coming through, Goku. It is appreciated. So like I was saying, this show is something that it's kind of like on the fly almost. And we talk about everything, man. I try to touch on everything as much as I can. And like I said before, the purpose of this is to go more in depth on gaming topics, and it's everything. It's not just PlayStation, it's not just Xbox and all that stuff. It's everything. So with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Before we would get into that, which one is it? Firmware 5.0 beta sign up for the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 firmware updates that we get. The next big one is going to be hitting soon. So they put the beta signups up on PlayStation blogs, on the PlayStation blog. So with that, I did put it in the description for anybody that wants to sign up. It's always good to sign up for those things, because they definitely do come in handy, like being able to have that shit first. I've been in most of them, like most of the ones that we have been getting, I have gotten so far. So yeah, should be good, should be fun. Hopefully I get in again, and if I don't, there's always that secondary way, which we ain't gonna talk about here. But yeah, first thing I want to talk to you guys about is Spider-Man, and not Spider-Man the movie, Spider-Man the game that's coming out next year, 2018. So let me set this up. One of my boys, was King's Blood. Shout out to him again. He made a video talking about some article came out where they were comparing 2016 Spider-Man footage to the 2017 Spider-Man footage, and the article was claiming downgrade. And when I first seen this, when I see first of all, you know, Kingsblood is he a smart dude. He a real smart dude because he has a way of he titles his videos in a manner to where he'll know if you don't watch him or not, because the title of the video doesn't always match what he's talking about. Um, the context is always there, but it doesn't always match. So you gotta, he'll catch you in a lie. So I watched the video and then I looked at the the article, and this site looked a little, it didn't look like the best site. It didn't look like a reputable site that I normally see, that normally comments on these or talks about these types of things. When it comes to anything graphics comparison wise, my go-to has always been Digital Foundry. With that being said, though, the comparison that was made with this just doesn't make sense, because it's a comparison of 2016's trailer. Because remember, the first time we've ever seen gameplay of Spider-Man was at this E3. There was no gameplay prior to this E3. So anything that was talked about or anything that was shown at this E3 is the first time we've seen it. There is no, there's another form of gameplay for us to analyze. There's only one form of gameplay, and that's what we saw at E3. So right then and there was red flags, because I'm like, okay, we just seen gameplay 2017 E3, 2016 E3, we got a CGI trailer. Something's not right here. And lo and behold, I was right. Something isn't right here. They were, doing a comparison of Spider-Man CGI 2016 versus Spider-Man the game, or the gameplay 2017. And I was confused, because I'm like, first off, how can you compare CGI to gameplay and claim downgrade? That's one. When it comes to CGI is always going to look better or more realistic than the actual gameplay. And then the gameplay that we saw looked phenomenal. Like nothing about the gameplay looked bad or looked downgraded or looked sketchy or whatever the case may be. Everything looked on the up and up. So, seeing all those types of things, I'm just like, okay, this is clickbait. This is clickbait, because there's no evidence to back up what's being talked about. It's just bullshit. So with that being said, it had me thinking. Like, I was thinking about pretty much like how not even game. Well, I don't want to say gamers. I guess you can. I don't want to say gamers. I want to say people. When it comes to the development process of any type of game, people tend to overlook what's important. And I said this before. Graphics do matter and things like that, but gameplay is always supposed to be superior. It's always supposed to be what's most important. Mechanics, gameplay, story, things like that. I remember I did like a little hangout before where I was talking about how the gameplay for Spider-Man, it looks phenomenal, and a lot of people were overlooking that, and I didn't understand why. Like, I legit didn't understand why that was being overlooked. And part of it has to do with and I said this before, part of it has to do with a lot of people looking at or thinking that graphics is more important, or if the game doesn't look good, then the game isn't worth buying. If the game isn't this crazy spectacle graphically, the game, that's what turns people off. And it's like, well, what about the gameplay? What about how fun it is? What about people's views and people's values when it comes to these games just they're not lining up right now. And it's sad, because people, this is somebody's work. You know, this is somebody's project. Hold on. Sorry, I had to cough. This is somebody's project. This is somebody's work. I personally believe that Spider-Man is in good hands. I've always believed that. Uh, Spider-Man is doing phenomenal. It looks great. It looks like they're on the right track when it comes to the development process of the game. The game looks on point. The game is, I'm excited for this game. I can't wait to pick this up. Like I legit can't wait to pick this up. I'm very, very excited for Spider-Man. That will never change. When it comes to the graphics of the game, again, when I first seen the gameplay looked very, it looked very good to me. I watched it in 4K. It looked very beautiful to me. It looked very good. And I kind of understand why some people in the gaming community are a little bit skeptical about Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man, but I want to say like these E3 demos, because we've been burnt so many times. So people tend to look at the negatives a lot, or look at if there's going to be a downgrade or not first and foremost before anything else. And that's not good. That's not a good look. That's not a good thing. That's definitely not something that people should, and I know it's hard to do because of, I guess, because of the narrative that's been created, if that makes sense. The narrative that a lot of people use now is, especially with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro out, a lot of the narrative that's used not just by us in the gaming community, but also by the gaming industry itself. A lot of the selling factor is, graphics. A lot of the selling factor is the game looking beautiful. So, us as gamers, we kind of have been conditioned to kind of think like this, So, all of the blame isn't necessarily on the media. All of the blame isn't on the gamer, but it's also the responsibility of the gamer to know that, what you see isn't always what you get. One, two, as a gamer, you should always prioritize gameplay over graphics. That's with anything. I don't care what game it is. I don't care what system it's on. Look at the Switch. The Switch has always been, really good, and it's always been, it's always, a lot of its games haven't been like these graphical spectacles. You feel me? But the games still look and play very beautifully. Hold on. For some reason, like my shit won't load. It's weird. My stream won't load on YouTube. Oh my god. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much how I see it. As far as Spider-Man goes, I'm still very excited for it. My excitement doesn't change at all. Media outlets like this tend to, throw out these articles for shock value, for clickbait and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised, nor does this deter me from picking up Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a day one buy for me. Spider-Man is going to be a day one buy for many other people. And it's definitely not something that I feel gamers should be worried about more so than the gameplay and the villains themselves. That's just how I see it. Obviously everybody thinks different. Everybody's entitled to their own way of thinking. Everybody is entitled to, whatever. But at the end of the day, as a gamer, you should know what's most important. Oh, so I can watch it on here, but I can't watch it on regular YouTube for some reason. It's weird. My fault. I was trying to figure out like why YouTube is acting so weird right now. It's acting stupid. But yeah. There we go. Now it wants to work. So it takes a minute. I don't know. At first, it's weird. Like YouTube has been fucking up a lot lately. Like short, quick rant. Like I don't know. Like sometimes with YouTube, whenever I try to stream, in matter of fact, it may not even be YouTube. It may be the PlayStation. Um, but for some reason, like it won't show anything. Like when you stream or whatever, it won't show shit. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what how I feel and what I'm thinking about when it comes to Spider-Man. I don't know. Spider-Man is weird. It's a weird situation. That's what any next gen title, I think. Yeah. But moving on. So this weekend was D23, and with D23 there was a lot of announcements, like from and for those that don't know what D23 is, it's Disney Expo. And this year, they showed a lot of stuff. Movies and games. I think movies they announced, they they announced announced the Lion King live action movie. That shit right there, that was, if that wasn't enough, man, and that within itself, I was hyped. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? This shit is crazy. Yo, I was very, very, very excited, very hyped for that. Then they showed they showed some more Kingdom Hearts gameplay. And oh my god. Yo, that Kingdom Hearts gameplay was crazy, yo. That Kingdom Hearts gameplay blew me away. And it's funny because when it first started, as soon as I seen the room, not even a room, as soon as I seen the wall, I already knew that was Andy's room. I just knew off rip. As soon as I seen the wall, I looked at the wall and I was like, yeah. This is Andy's room. This is some Toy Story shit. I just knew, just because Toy Story is a cult classic, something that I love very dearly. It is definitely an amazing game. A game. Why was I saying amazing movies? That I definitely do love. So I know that world very well. So when I seen the wall in the room and stuff like that, I knew what it was. And then as soon as Buzz and Woody came out, man, I gotta be honest with you guys, I damn near cried. Yo, man, man to man. Yo, I almost shed some tears seeing that shit. I was like, yo, this is what gaming is about. This. I love this right here. I love this. And if that wasn't good enough, man, they took us outside. They showed us the outside. This is what some real world shit. The combat, again, I can't get over how good the combat in Kingdom Hearts looks. Combat looks so awesome, so fun. Very, very smooth, very streamlined. Enemies obviously on point. They showed the Organization 13. I forgot his name, old boy, and his evil plot about there's some heartless in the Toy Story world. So I was reading up, and pretty much they were the developers. They were saying that and this is not like this Toy Story world, like the story and how it's going to go isn't going to be like a recreation of Toy Story from the Toy Story movies. This is completely independent from the movies, and it's going to be exclusive to like Kingdom Hearts. This is Kingdom Hearts' own version of the Toy Story world and how they're going to do it and make it fit in with the Kingdom Hearts world and story. I'm like, okay, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm with it. I'm hyped. I'm excited. I love that. I love that they're trying to be original. I love that they're trying to be creative and very, very different when it comes to the Toy Story world and how they're trying to do it. I'm excited. Would it have been cool to have like one of the Toy Story adventures like the RC scene when he's trying to get on the truck? or the store scene. Yeah, that would have been cool. I won't lie, that would definitely would have been cool to have. But it's more interesting. I'm more interested. The reason why I'm more interested in this is because I definitely want to see how Square how they flip the story and how they really make it their own when it comes to Kingdom Hearts in that world. So I'm in that instance, I'm very interested in that. With that being said, I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry that I'm being honest. I would always be honest with you guys. I never, bullshit you guys. But with with at the end, they showed Kingdom Hearts. It's coming to PlayStation 4, obviously, and it's coming to Xbox One. I can't lie, seeing that Xbox, I was like, I was like, yo, Choco, what is up? Yo, Miss Choco, thank you so much for coming through to the podcast. Your support is definitely appreciated. So when I seen that Xbox, I was like, I don't know about all this. And all right, so let me explain to you guys why it's like this. Okay, so PlayStation has always been home of Kingdom Hearts, PlayStation and Nintendo. Because Nintendo did get a couple of the Kingdom Hearts games. I think they got Chain of Memories. Yeah, they did get Chain of Memories, and I know they got one more. Oh, I think they got Chain of Memories, and I think they got Dream Drop Distance, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Nintendo. PlayStation got Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, 352, what is it, 365 over 2 or something like that. Final Mix. We pretty much got all the other ones, the bigger ones. But through Kingdom Hearts life cycle, none of the Kingdom Hearts have been on an Xbox platform. Now, with that being said, yeah, it was Dream Drop Distance, right? Goku. Okay, I was right. All right, so Dream Drop Distance. All right, so with that being said, PlayStation, Xbox guys, I have to be honest. I personally, and this is me, but this is obviously a personal opinion. This isn't something that is fact. But I personally feel Xbox guys don't deserve Kingdom Hearts 3. And not only that they don't deserve it, but it's, that type of game just isn't something that, I don't think that's something that should be on the Xbox platform, because none of the other games are. So they're gonna go into this game confused, or like, what's this? What is that? And not only that, but it's funny because in some of these, Facebook groups that I was in, a couple of people, and obviously these people don't make up the entirety of the Xbox community. I can't stress that enough. But a lot of these people that do speak like this are very vocal. They're the most vocal. Their voice resonates through the community, and a lot of people do follow these people. But a lot of Xbox guys, they have been saying that, oh, who wants to play that kitty shit? Who wants to play that weeaboo trash? Who wants to play this garbage? Things like that. And this is the first time that they have said some fucked up shit like this. Xbox guys are very notorious for bashing or downplaying Japanese titles. It's even some Xbox guys that don't even recognize Japanese games as real games. If, believe it or not, they don't even recognize Japanese titles as real games. And then you've got that other side of people that don't support Japanese games because they're Japanese. If that makes sense. So there's a lot of negatives that people speak when it comes to Japanese titles that really does. I don't want to say, well, no, it puts a negative stigma around the community, the Xbox community. That negative stigma is there. And then it's also, to accompany that negative stigma is the sales. When it comes to the sales, a lot of people like to dismiss sales, but this is something that also, not just us in the community, but you have companies and stuff like this that look at these type of things. But if you look at the sales of the Xbox One, of the of other Japanese titles on Xbox, they don't sell. They don't sell. They don't get supported. I think Final Fantasy 15, it didn't even hit 1 million. Final Fantasy 15, I don't even think. Hold on, because I want to be right here. I don't even think Final Fantasy hit. Did it hit 500,000? See, hold on. Now I'm about to, because now we about to get into it. We definitely about to drop knowledge today. Final Fantasy. I don't want to be made a liar. Like, oh, Persona, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Relax, relax. Okay. So, okay, matter of fact, let me share my screen because I always like when you guys can see what it is I'm seeing. So that again, Persona's making up numbers. No, I'm not making up numbers, guys. These are all facts. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. All right, so again, Final Fantasy 15, which Square Enix, they did a lot to like advertise this game. They did a lot. They made a movie, they made an anime, they did this whole big Square Enix convention talking about Final Fantasy 15. They advertised the shit out of this game. Sony had the marketing deal. Square did a lot to really advertise this title. They did a lot. They really was trying to push this title. With that being said, when you look at the numbers, 15 Final Fantasy, and granted, Final Fantasy 15 wasn't that, from a Final Fantasy fan, 15 wasn't that great of a game. It wasn't, no lie. It was decent at best. It was not a good title. It wasn't a like title like 7. It wasn't a title like 12, like 10. Even 14, like it just wasn't. It wasn't that great of a title. It was decent. The story was not, told or done very well. But with that being said, the numbers 4.7 million for PlayStation and 890,000, so almost at 1 million for Xbox, almost at 1 million, barely. We're barely scratching the surface of almost 1 million, barely. And the game's been out almost a year. Granted, this game has been again advertised so heavily that you would think that at least it would hit 1 million on Xbox. At least. Let's do Final Fantasy. Which one is it? 13. And granted, you know what? I think 13, and this is just a personal opinion, of course. I think 13 was worse. Like, I can't even lie about this. I think 13 was worse than 15. No bullshit. I personally do think that. But Final Fantasy 13 on PlayStation, and granted, last gen, PlayStation and Xbox were neck and neck in sales. They were neck and neck. It wasn't like, actually Xbox was ahead of PlayStation. I think was PlayStation ahead in 2009? I can't remember it. I think Xbox was ahead in 2009 in console sales. So the whole, PlayStation has 50 million consoles or 60 million consoles out right now. That argument is mute here. Okay. Last generation, Final Fantasy 13, the shittiest Final Fantasy in all of Final Fantasy, personally, sold almost 5.3 million on PlayStation. On Xbox, it sold 2.1 million. 2.1 million. X2, which was worse than, it's like with each 13 version, it got worse. Final Fantasy 13 2, 2 million. Final Fantasy 13 2, not even a million. And then Lightning Returns, which was X3. Was Lightning Returns. And Lightning Returns was somewhat okay. And I granted, I didn't even play all of Lightning Returns, so I can't even speak on it in its entirety. Lightning Returns, a million. Xbox, 200,000. And these Final Fantasies were the first Final Fantasies to be on Xbox, on an Xbox platform. If I'm not mistaken, Yes, the 13 games were the first Final Fantasies to be on Xbox. And these are the numbers. So looking at these numbers, and then looking at 15's numbers, they're not supporting the games. They're not buying the games. And again, last gen, PlayStation and Xbox were neck and neck in console sales. You know, so the whole sale thing doesn't matter here. It doesn't even matter this gen, because again, it's not like 60 million people went out and bought 15. They didn't. You feel me? Yo, Larry, what's good, bro? Thank you for stopping by, man. But you know, so looking at those numbers and looking at those things, it already was set in stone that Japanese games just don't do well on Xbox platforms. And I have to make something very clear here. This isn't Persona making fun of Xbox. This isn't Persona trying to bash Xbox. It's not. It's a conversation. 1, 2. It's semi fact. My statements is backed up with numbers. Everything I'm saying can be backed up by a number. Now, the sad thing about this, and I said this on Twitter earlier. I said Twitter on Twitter earlier. Xbox guys or some, and again, this isn't all people, but Xbox guys, a good portion of them, especially the ones that are most vocal, have been conditioned by Microsoft, conditioned by some developers through Microsoft. It's been a lot of conditioning over the years where Xbox guys look at anything less than a AAA as meaningless. They look at anything that's not quote unquote American as meaningless. Japanese games, they don't care about. They don't. Everything must be an exclusive. It has to be an exclusive. If it's a multi-plat, then it's trash. And if it's not AAA, it's trash. And now the new thing, if it's not 4K native, it's trash. And it's a lot of things being spoken about, or a lot of conditioning going on within the Xbox community, where the ones that do care about the Japanese games, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell the ones that actually do care, because 1, they're not the vocal ones, and 2, the sales don't reflect. And then again, what people say when Kingdom Hearts 3 was shown with the Toy Story stuff, they immediately wrote it off as some kiddie shit, or some trash shit that my kid would play or something like that, And there's a lot of Japanese games like that, where they're, if you watch anime, then you know what to expect from the Japanese games. And again, I'm very avid about, and I'm a sole believer that, Xbox needs variety in its catalog. I stand by that. Xbox does need variety in its catalog. But with that being said, uh Xbox gamers aren't accepting the variety that's given. So does Microsoft need to add variety to the catalog? Yes. But also Xbox gamers need to work on accepting that variety. Every game doesn't need to be a shooter. Every game doesn't need a sport, needs to be a sports title. But again, this conditioning can be attributed to Microsoft's years of third party deals last gen, exclusives, the PR talk and rhetoric that they've been pushing for years and years and years. Xbox has never been known for Japanese titles, and that's what some people will say. Oh well, Xbox don't need those type of titles because PlayStation gets those titles. Those titles are meant for PlayStation. To a degree, I feel certain titles are like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. I feel those titles shouldn't be on Xbox, just because, especially Kingdom Hearts. The story with Kingdom Hearts is very complex, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make this story very accessible to newcomers, but still not knowing why Sora, Mickey, and Donald are doing what they're doing and the world is the way it is, that takes away from the immersion of the game. That takes away from the understanding and the experience of the game personally. Final Fantasy is a little different because each story is different. But the characters and the characters in the worlds and stuff like that still stay the same, really. You still got chocobos, you still got the Warriors of Light and the sacred crystals and all that shit. The Dragoon class and the Archer class. All these different things. Those things still stay the same within Final Fantasy. The world of Final Fantasy still essentially stays the same. It's the characters that change. You still have Sid in every single Final Fantasy. There's a Sid in every single Final Fantasy. Every single. Some of the characters change. Some of the characters stay the same. The worlds are always the same. The enemies in the world are always the same. The bosses you fight, essentially, 9 times out of 10, are the same. So, Final Fantasy is a little tricky. But, other Japanese titles like Shenron, Kagura, Sword Art Online, I'm trying to think of Japanese games. I Am Setsuna. There's plenty of other Japanese titles out here that Xbox guys can play and appreciate, but won't, because they're Japanese titles. And then I remember seeing some people blame Square for the failure of Kingdom Hearts on Xbox. Actually, I don't blame Square at all. I'm actually surprised at Square, because after looking at the sales of Final Fantasy 15, I honestly thought Square would have been like, all right, nah, they're not getting Kingdom Hearts 3. Honestly, I thought that. No bullshit. I thought that. I honestly thought that. Yo, all too easy. What's going on, bruh? All right, Goku, you got me. I never played one. I never played one, so there's no Sid in one. I'm exposed. I'm sorry, Goku. I'm sorry, I didn't play one. But there's plenty of other Japanese titles out there, you know. But when I seen that Xbox, I was very surprised. I was very surprised because, again, the sales for 15, them shits was atrocious. Them shits is atrocious. Like you're not even at a mill. So I honestly don't think Kingdom Hearts will get the shine that it deserves on Xbox, and that's sad. That's sad. It's wrong, but it's to be expected. It's to be expected. It is. But I'm still excited for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is going to sell crazy on PlayStation. We already know that, and that's another thing. I am surprised they didn't just put it on the Switch or put it on Nintendo platform. Maybe the game is too demanding. I'm sure they could have dumbed it down. I'm sure they could have dumbed it down. Like it's people that say they want Lost Odyssey. All right, did I? OD. I did spell it right? I should have. I think I spelled. I'm about to get exposed. Hold up. Let me see Xbox. I think it's on Xbox, right? Let me put Lost. So I think it's 360 then. It should be 360. I thought. Oh, okay. Lost Odyssey. People. This is the argument, and this is an argument that has been used a lot. People say, "Oh, well, I miss Lost Odyssey. I'm so hyped for Lost Odyssey. One of the greatest Japanese games ever to come out." That praise for those type of titles. They praise those titles. They pray. Whenever you start talking about Japanese titles with an Xbox guy, they always bring up Lost Odyssey. Oh, I can't wait for Lost Odyssey. I want a new Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey was the greatest Japanese game to ever come out. They always say like that outlandish shit. They always saying outlandish shit like that. A lot of these Xbox guys, they swear by Lost Odyssey, but that number doesn't reflect. That number doesn't reflect. Again, they say they love Japanese titles, they love Lost Odyssey. The number doesn't reflect. It doesn't reflect that. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't any Lost Odyssey fans out there. Obviously, there are, and I'm pretty sure there are a group of people that do want the game. I'm sure of that. But again, to use Lost Odyssey as a scapegoat for saying, "Oh, well, Xbox has Japanese titles, old school Japanese games." Did you buy it though? Like these are questions. Did you buy it? Not even 1 million? Last gen, and again, Xbox and PlayStation were neck and neck, and this was an exclusive. This wasn't no third-party game. This is an exclusive to Xbox. Xbox has notoriously underperformed when it came to Japanese titles. The fan base is conditioned. Yo, what up? What up, Ken? Mr. Official, what's good, man? Listening a bit at work. Streams tend to freeze at work for me. They don't love Lost Odyssey. They only bring Lost Odyssey up because that's the inky good JRPGs they can think of. Only. Yes, that is the only good JRPG that they can think of. That's the only Japanese game that they know. And it's an exclusive to Xbox, so they get that leverage. Oh, well, we had Japanese exclusives last gen. Lost Odyssey was so amazing. Da 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 da. Okay. It wasn't amazing. What that number say? and again, this isn't to bash, to kind of go on a tangent. A lot of Xbox guys, they tend to take what you say as you bashing. Oh, you bashing, you're fanboying, you're crying, da, 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 da. Why you worried? Yo, man, we all gamers at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I cannot talk today. At the end of the day, I want all games to flourish on all platforms. Like I want, your exclusive. I want each exclusive to flourish. I want these multi-plats to flourish. I want games to flourish because at the end of the game, I'm here for the gamer. I'm here for the guy that wants to play the games. I'm for the gamer. I'm definitely for the gamer, and that's with anything. But at the same time, you know, I call out the hypocrisy. I call out the lies. I call out the bullshit that people tend to feed. They tend to use a lot of bullshit. They tend to use a lot of bullshit to mask how they really feel. Again, Xbox does need variety in their catalog. That is very important. I stand by that. I'm not taking that away. Nor am I saying that not to put Japanese games on the Xbox platform. Yes, put Japanese games on the Xbox platform. I mean, they're putting Kingdom Hearts. Ain't nobody on change.org trying to take that away or nothing. It's on there. It's on there. I can't control that. Nobody can control that. It's on there. That's fine. But at the end of the day, the fact that it's not going to be supported is the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not the fact that it's on there. It's the fact that it's on there and it won't get supported. Knowing that it's in Square, knowing it's not going to get supported. Us as gamers knowing it's not going to get supported. Oh, well, Persona, how do you know that? Look at the numbers. Look at the exclusive Japanese game that they swear by. Look at that number. Look at the Final Fantasy numbers I showed you. Look at any other Japanese title. It's not supported. They don't support it. They don't support it. And it's sad. It's very sad. As a gamer, it's very sad. It is, because any gamer that can sit in your face or write to you saying, "Oh, I've been playing games since the 80s. Oh, I'm a long time gamer. I'm a long time gamer. I've been gaming since the 80s, but I prefer Xbox." What? Like, shit like that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. How are you a gamer? And again, everybody's preference is their own. Fine. But how have you been gaming since the 80s, right? You've been gaming since the 80s, since Atari, since NES, since SNES, and all these other titles. You've been gaming since the 80s, right? Where the 80s and 90s have, the market was flooded with Japanese titles. Everything you bought was a Japanese title. Every console you bought was a Japanese product, right? How can you buy or say that you were a gamer since the 80s and you're a hardcore gamer, and then in the same breath turn around and say, "Oh, well, I don't like PlayStation because there's too much Jap crap. I don't want to play that kiddie shit. Who wants to play that garbage ass Kingdom Hearts? Who wants to play that garbage ass Final Fantasy? Who wants to play that weeaboo trash?" That tells me one of two things. One, you're a liar. Or two, you're trying to fit in with people online. And 9 times out of 10, it's all of the above. You can't tell me you've been gaming since the 80s, but then you disown and detest Japanese titles. You can't tell me you've been gaming since the 80s and then not care about Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and all these other titles if you really been gaming since the 80s. You can't tell me you've been gaming since the 80s, but you don't care about Zelda. You don't know about Zelda. You don't know about Mario. You can't tell me these things because they don't make sense. What were you playing in the 80s? What were you playing in the 80s and 90s? What were you playing? And again, times change. Now shooters are king now, where everybody wants to play shooters. Sports games are real popular, things like that. Sports games were popular back in the day too. Those NFL Streets and NFL ESPN titles, them college football titles, the Slag Fest, all those games were extremely popular. They were extremely popular back in the day. But you know what else? Those Japanese games were very popular too. Those Japanese games were still getting bought. Yeah, I was playing sports titles back in the day, but I was also playing my Japanese games. I didn't leave my crib without my Game Boy Color and my Pokemon. You crazy? You crazy? But this is what people say. This is what people do. This is what they do. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. And again, I stand by this, man. I don't think Kingdom Hearts belongs on Xbox. If anything, it should have been a PlayStation and a Nintendo title. I stand by that. Feel how you feel. I'm sorry. But that's how I feel. And how I feel can be backed up with factual numbers of why I feel the way I feel. But I'm also not going to sit there and bash the developer because they're putting the game on Xbox. You know, if anything, I'm telling Xbox guys, go pick up the damn title. If any Xbox guy that listens to this, listen, go buy the game. Okay. Don't judge a book by its cover. Most people have multiple consoles. Go buy the 1.5, 2.5 collection and play the games. Go play the games. You know what's funny? Real quick. One of the online arcade zone, Mr. Chuck, he's playing Kingdom Hearts right now. And I think that's his first time playing. He's playing it. Shout out to him. I welcome anybody to Japanese games. Japanese games are great. Japanese games are awesome titles. If you're not playing Japanese games, you're missing out. What are you playing? Shooters? That's fine. I play shooters all the time. Check out my streams. Check out my game library. I play shooters all the time. I'm excited for Destiny. I play Uncharted. Me and Kev play Uncharted every fucking day, damn near. I love my cards. I don't play sports games that much anymore, but I love my shooters. I love my Western RPGs. I love my American titles. I love them. Believe me, I do. Believe me, I love my American titles. But I can love my American titles and love Japanese games. It's like with some gamers, it's like a tug of war with them. It's like they can't love both. It has to be one or the other. Like I never understood that. You check my collection, man. I got like over 400 games, and all of them is Japanese, American, UK, wherever the fuck they making these games. That's where they making them, and I'm playing them here in America. You can love Japanese games and love American titles. I don't know. That's just weird to me. Oh my god, guys, what the fuck? But yeah, that's my little mini rant with Kingdom Hearts and Xbox. But yeah, let's move it on. They need to hug it out. Goku, they need to hug it out. Let them hug it out, man. Let them hug it out. Man. But moving on, man. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about too is Evo was this weekend. And by the way, Evo was, oh my god. Evo was the shit. Kingdom Hearts is not going to do well on Xbox, going on how Japanese games usually do on Xbox. It's sad because they are missing out on some dope ass games. I agree. Yo, Larry, I agree. They are missing out on a lot of great titles. It's a lot of sleeper hits out here, man, that are Japanese titles. There's some games, even for myself, being, someone like me that loves Japanese games, loves anime and all that type of shit. Japanese games, they're missing out on some gems, man. They're missing out on some serious gems by not supporting these titles. Axel World versus SAO. Sword Art Online, Lost Song, Hollow Realization, Knights of Azure, World of Final Fantasy, I Am Setsuna. Yo, these titles are sleeper hits, man. These guys are missing out. They're missing out on dope games with great story. That's one thing that Japanese games has always been good at, and that's telling good stories, being funny. The story is funny. It's, the characters always have, like one thing about Japanese characters, like they're very animated. They're very, like, they do a good job of portraying a specific mood. Like, you've got that sad character, that happy character, that optimistic character, that evil character. Like, they do a good job of writing these characters out. Like, They do a great job. Like for instance, Persona 5, um, Kamoshida, him as a character, yo, that shit was crazy. That shit he was doing in the schools and all that shit, yo, bruh, Kamoshida, what are you doing? And then the way Riku and Amy wasn't, yo, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, back to Evo. Evo was very nice this year. Evo was so I don't like SAO since it feels too much like Dot Hack series. Oh, you don't like the Dot Hack series either, Goku? That Dot Hack series was dope back on PS2 days. That was dope. But what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought. I lost my train. Oh, Evo this year. Evo this year was amazing, man. There was a lot of great fights. There was a lot of great matches on a lot of good titles. And there was also a lot of good announcements. And where do I begin? Where do I begin? Okay. So with the announcements, actually, I had the announcements pulled up. Hold up. Let me hold on, guys. I wanna be accurate here. I don't wanna feed you guys no lies. Evo 2017. One second, guys. I know I had it. I think this is it right here. Yeah, this is it. Is this it? No, this isn't it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find the. Oh, I think it's this one actually. Let me make. Yeah. This is this one. Is it this one? Yes, this one. Okay. All right. I'm gonna share my screen again. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Present to everyone. Application window. Okay. Okay. So like again, Evo this year was great. Evo this year was really fun. Really fun to watch. Very entertaining. But one thing that I noticed was the dominance this year when it came to Evo was PlayStation. And this has been the last couple of Evos where PlayStation has just been the dominant console to play on, like playing on, advertised. There was PlayStation, presented by PlayStation all over Evo. With majority of the tournament, the fighting game tournaments, it was on PlayStation. PlayStation was the dominant console at E3 at Evo. At Evo. And if that wasn't, crazy enough, and matter of fact, I want to talk about this real quick before I continue. Back on the topic of Japanese titles, another, Japanese fighting games, they're known for being very complicated. Japanese fighting games, they either don't sell on Xbox or they don't go to Xbox. And that's not a good thing, especially if you're trying to really break out into that fighting game scene and be dominant. Where PlayStation shines right now is in a few sections. They shine in the marketing, they shine in the product, they shine in the games. They are doing a good job of marketing games to their for their product at Evo and anywhere else. Like, it's just the marketing that they're doing right now is very good, and it's everywhere. And this at this year's E3, why I keep saying E3, at this year's Evo, that it was no different. PlayStation logo was all over the place, presented by PlayStation. When they showed what they were when they were fighting on PlayStations. The only thing that, from what I saw, because I didn't watch all of Evo, but I did watch a good portion of a lot of the fights. What I saw from Evo, they did do the mini Dragon Ball Z Fighters tournament on Xbox because they were using Xbox controllers. So, Xbox has that going for it. Plus, Xbox has the marketing rights for DBZ. And this goes back to a video that Bari made. They show DBZ on their E3 stage, right? But DBZ is not going to sell on their console. It's not. It's not. DBZ is going to sell on PlayStation. And Bari, he did a whole stream talking about the numbers and all that stuff. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But shout out to Bari because, in his stream, he said the numbers don't back up the claims. They don't back up the claims. The claims that people make that these games are going to sell or that this game has marketing rights or this game is going to do better on Xbox, the numbers don't back it up. The numbers do not back it up. And DBZ is going to be no different. Yes, Xbox does have the marketing rights, but the game is not going to sell better on Xbox. It's going to sell better on PlayStation. So that was wasted funds, personally. But I'm glad that they're trying to, they're getting the marketing deals. They're trying to bring that Japanese scene over. So they did do the tournament on Xbox for that little mini DBZ tournament, DBZ Fighters tournament. But everything was PlayStation. Everything was PlayStation. And if that's not crazy enough, the announcements at PlayStation were crazy. Yeah, I swear, guys, I can't talk today. The announcements at Evo were crazy. They announced the new Street Fighter. This is from the Street Fighter X team. We're gonna call it Arika EX. That's what I'm calling it. Arika EX. This is a new fighting game from the Street Fighter EX team that's exclusive to PlayStation. This is exclusive to PlayStation. What? Another one? Really? It's crazy. Abigail got shown, and a lot of people were very dissatisfied with how he looks. And I'm not even going to front. The way he looks here is very I think he thinks he's a car or something like that. And he looks very, I don't want to say he looks weird, because it's not that he looks weird. He looks wacky, which is necessarily isn't a bad thing. And he's 8 feet tall, by the way. And he's a fucking, from what I've seen in his fighting style, he is a fucking beast. He is definitely somebody that I'm going to be trying out. I'm very excited to play him. But there was a lot of hate. I remember seeing like a couple of posts of people hating or people downplaying Street Fighter's reveal and bitching about Street Fighter and Capcom. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Arc Systems versus Capcom. So, what we're going to touch back on this in a second. I just want to get through the announcements. And then DBZ Fighters came through with the clutch. They came through with the clutch. And who didn't know? We all knew that Trunks was coming. Like, come on, man. You cannot have no type of fucking DBZ fighting game. I don't give a fuck if it's 2D, 3D, or 19D. You can't have no DBZ fighting game and not have Trunks. You just can't. And side note, they definitely confirmed Piccolo and Krillin, I think. Or was it only Piccolo? I think it might have only been Piccolo that they confirmed. But I'm very excited for this. I'm very, very excited for this DBZ Fighters game. There is going to be a DBZ beta, which I'm getting in on that. Believe that. That's happening. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. That's happening for sure. So I'm definitely excited. Trunks looks awesome. I'm loving his moveset. He definitely looks like somebody that may be a part of the team. Right now, the team is Frieza, Vegeta, and Team Gohan, but that is subject to change depending on who else they announce. But as of right now, that is my squad. I gotta have any squad that I make. Frieza's gonna be there. Like, I don't care who the fuck it is. Frieza's gonna be there in the squad. I don't care if this game has 50 characters, 100 characters. Frieza will always be in the squad because Frieza is the best. Don't debate me. But moving on, then Arc Systems came with the clutch. They came with the clutch, bruh. This shit blew me away, okay? And it's funny because me and Mr. Official were talking about, no, it was me, Mr. Official. It was somebody else. Who else I was talking? I think it was me, Mr. Official, Bari, and Chuck. I think we all were talking about it during Chuck and Bari's grudge match on Sunday. But we were talking about a new Persona game and how that needs to happen, right? And then Arc Systems was like Persona. I got you, bruh. Let me work. And they announce a Blaze Blue cross tag battle fighting game. Listen, what? It's gonna have Blaze Blue characters, Ruby characters, Persona characters, and Birthday Night characters. Yo, oh my, yo, that is gonna be huge. That is gonna be. I think this game is multi-plat. I don't think it's exclusive to PlayStation. I could be wrong on that, but I think this is gonna be a multi-plat game. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, coming launch in 2018 for consoles. Yeah, so yeah, this game. When I seen this looks this right here, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle and Dragon Ball Z Fighters. These are going to be my games of 2018, fighting game wise. Yeah. And then last but certain is that. Oh no, we got two more. King of Fighters Geese Howard comes to Tekken 7. Let me tell you something. This guy, when they showed this fucking trailer, this guy was beating all the ass. And I'm like, all right, I'm with this. I'm with it. He definitely looks like a dope character. I definitely will have him. I will be trying him out, streaming it, of course, all that good stuff. And then is there one more? Yeah, this is it. Last but not least, Capcom showed off Jeddah from Darkstalkers. Look, guys, look. Right now, I have a serious love-hate relationship with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite because, you know, I'm a very huge Marvel vs. Capcom fan. I'm a huge Marvel vs. Capcom fan. X-Men versus Street Fighter, Capcom versus SNK, all those versus games. I'm a huge fan of those, especially the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Very huge fan. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is my favorite Marvel vs. Capcom, and that continues to be my favorite Marvel vs. Capcom. With that being said, this game, it's got so much going on with it that's going wrong that it really turns me off, like really bad. It turns me off, man. I mean, I canceled my collector's edition, and then there was some talks about Jeddah being hidden behind the collector's edition. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. As of right now, it's not confirmed. I don't know if this is true or not. But if this turns out to be true, yo, I can't. Like, I want this game so bad to be good. And granted, the game looks, at first the game didn't look like, as far as the look of the game, it doesn't look like a Marvel vs. Capcom game, if that makes sense. The art style is a little different. It's, you know, then from playing it when I played the story the story demo, the controls feel fine. Some of the characters look really rough. Some of the characters still look kind of rough, especially looking at that character roster. Like, you know, my boy Dante, he's still looking rough, and Chung Li Bei, she looking, ooh, her face still look messed the fuck up, man. But Jeddah, when they were fighting with Jeddah, man, Jeddah was looking right. He definitely looked very fun to fight with. Very good character. Very good. It was very fun to watch him fight. Gamora also looked good too. I'm thinking Gamora and Jeddah will definitely be in my team. But I don't know. This game is. I haven't even pre-ordered it digital yet. Like, I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I haven't, just because I'm still very hesitant about this game because Capcom. I don't know if it's Capcom. I don't know if it's Marvel. I don't know if it's Disney. I don't know who is overseeing the development, the creative process of this game. Because and even if Disney is overseeing the creative process of the game, which I highly doubt they are, but they may have some say so with certain things, especially with the characters. But Capcom side, and you know, we've talked about this before, but Capcom side with their character selection, yo, this shit might as well be Marvel's Capcom 3.5. Like, you know, like, come the fuck on. Like, some of these characters, like, just don't need to be here. Like, Arthur, why are you here? Spencer, why are you here? Chris, why are you here? Why do you have Zero and Mega Man? Everybody wanted Mega Man back over Zero. Why do you put Zero in there? You know, certain characters just don't need to be there. Like they could have been some definitely some switch outs for other fan favorite characters. Firebrand is in there. Like, why the fuck is he in there? It's like, some characters that just they don't fucking belong in the damn game. It's ridiculous, like how they fucking look. Uh but with that being said, let me see. DB's fight is gonna be ASW into the mainstream, man. Paradigm shift is on the cusp of happening. Stay out of the burger shot, Sean. Yo, Goku, stupid. Capcom better be careful not to allow their games to be overshadowed by these other fighting. I was actually about to touch on that right now, man. So yeah, with that being said, Capcom, looking at Capcom and what they're doing right now, again, Abigail looks like a decent character. He does look fun to play with. But Capcom has, I have to admit, Capcom has dropped the ball on certain things when it comes to Street Fighter V. But also this Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, it's not looking good right now on Capcom because right now Arc Systems is killing it. Arc Systems is definitely killing it when it comes to the fighting game scene. Blaze Blue is phenomenal. Guilty Gear is very good. It's got a lot of content. Characters are dope. And then you got DBZ Fighters, which arguably will be the best fighter to come out next year. Like, I feel DBZ Fighters is going to overshadow a lot of fighting games. Like, I'm not even kidding. Arc Systems is doing, it looks like Arc System is doing very right by DBZ Fighters. They're killing it right now. And then they've just announced this Blaze Blue Cross tag battle game. Yo, Arc Systems is on fire. And Capcom's got some serious competition. Right now, man, they got to be on their A game. And as consumers, this is good for us because this does, when you have competition like this, it definitely does encourage a lot more creativity, which is always good. But with that being said, Capcom really needs to be on their P's and Q's about what they're doing with these fighting games because Arc Systems is not playing around. Right now, Arc Systems has some serious heavy hitters on their hands. Now, again, Street Fighter will always be popular, and Street Fighter will probably always be that top game at EVO. I don't think that will ever change. How the start of Street Fighter V has been very sketchy, with the no story mode, the no arcade mode, bullshit people was complaining about that don't matter now, because people aren't playing that shit. But that those were complaints that people were complaining about back in the early cycle of the game. And then this year, Capcom has really been real different about how they are releasing these characters, man. Like, they're not coming out as frequently as they should, or as in a timely manner like they should. I'm trying to think. I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, like, the releasing of the DLC characters has been very sparse. The communication has been sparse. And then it's Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. Again, it's looking like that development process is rough, and it's definitely not looking like it's going to be a popular game. Again, it's going to sell. I'm sure it's going to sell, but that DBZ Fighters, man, that shit is going to overshadow it. I just know it's going to overshadow it. It's going to overshadow it. It looks more fun. It looks better. It looks more fun to play. Arc Systems is doing right. Arc Systems is doing it up. Capcom needs to tighten up. Like, Capcom, what are you doing? I need you to fix this. I need you to tighten up. I need you to get right. You guys are hurting right now. You guys are hurting. It's something needs to be done on the Capcom side to fix the quality of their games, because the quality is beginning to drop a little bit. I have to be honest. I have more fun playing Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear than I do Street Fighter at the moment. And again, that's a subjective statement. That's not a fact. That's only how I feel. That's not how everybody feels. Obviously, let's look at Evo. But when you look at the quality of a game, Arc Systems is doing it right. Arc System is doing it right when it comes to quality. Quality looks better on Arc systems. Look at, like, again, look at Blaze Blue, look at Guilty Gear, look at Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Capcom just shit the bed when they see those heavy hitters announcements with Bandai Namco, Arc Systems, Eureka, and SNK is bringing some good old games back. Oh yeah, there's some speculation of a is that Capcom versus SNK? I think so. Yeah, Capcom versus SNK game. That'd be dope. Or is it Capcom versus SNK? I could be wrong. It is a new SNK fighter though. It is. But Capcom needs to. Yo, man, look, they need to release a Rival Schools or something. Put out a Rival Schools. Everybody be right back on your side. Put something out, man. Fuck, man. I don't want I don't want Capcom to fall off too hard, man, to the point where they can't bounce back, because I think they still are in a financial crisis right now, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but Arc Systems is laying that heat. Arc Systems is definitely laying that heat. I don't know, but bring back Project Justice and Power Stone 2, and they sell like, yo, give me that Power Stone 2. You bring that Power Stone 2, that shit gonna sell for sure. 100%. 100%. Power Stone 2 will sell. That is a favorite for sure. But yeah, guys, man, Evo was, again, Evo was dope. Evo was fun. We'll just see what this next year is gonna bring. I don't know. I am gonna buy Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I just don't know if I'm gonna buy it day one. I don't know yet. I'll make my decision by the end of the summer. Not more than likely, I will pre-order it digital, obviously. Get the digital deluxe or whatever. But that Jetta situation needs to be ironed out. I need to know if they're going to do that. And would be mad if Capcom delayed Marvel vs. Capcom to tweak the roster and the overall look of the game. And for God's sakes, can we get a new Rival Schools? Yo, you know what, Larry? I wouldn't be mad if Capcom delayed the game either. I'm all for that. Delay the game. Delay the game and polish the game up more, add more characters, or do what you need to do. I'm fine with that. I am perfectly fine with that. I see no problems with that. But, they're not going to do that. And I'm pretty sure Disney is not going to allow that either. So, we're going to get what we get, and hopefully we make do. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about, man. Evo was fun. Evo was cool. Definitely enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, guys, man, it's been fun. Good conversation. I appreciate all you guys. Shout out to Bari, Larry, Mr. Official, Choco came through, all too easy. Larry, Ken, my boy Jersey Raff came through. Shout out to you guys, man, for coming through to the stream. I definitely appreciate you guys for coming through. Definitely appreciate you guys chilling with me and listening to my thoughts and whatnot and having a good little discussion. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the podcast right here. I like this little mini series I'm doing. It's definitely good. Definitely good conversation, good topics, and good ways of thinking. It's definitely fun. Let me know in the comments if you guys are enjoying When Persona Speaks. Yo, I got that name. I got that shit from Bari. No bullshit. Because I was doing a live stream and Bari put When Persona Speaks. Right? So I was like, oh shit, that shit sounds catchy as fuck. So so one day I was like trying to come up for a name of a new series, which, this series that I was going to be doing on the channel. And I kept trying to come up with a really good name. And, that shit just came to my head like, When Persona Speaks. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We go and run with that. Oh, man. Larry, I think the reason why Ken isn't in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is because he, kind of just like Ryu, more or less. So, I having them both would kind of be redundant, I think, in some senses. But yeah, that's how I came up with the name. So shout out to Bari with that. But yeah, yo, guys, When Persona Speaks episode 4 is definitely about to come to an end. But real quick, let me yo, it's not Ryu, Mr. Official. But real quick, yo, guys, man, make sure you guys come through to Mind of a Gamer episode 20 this Saturday. It's gonna be myself, Mr. Official VG, and Demigod Review. Shout out to them. That's my Mog boys. That's the panel, and we may have a guest in the building as well. I don't know yet. I have to see if he's going to confirm or not. But yeah, man, Mind of a Gamer this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna have I'm doing a giveaway. We made it, Mog. We made it to 20 episodes. That's that doesn't seem like that big of a feat, but it definitely is something that I'm happy about. And I said, I made it to 20 episodes, so let's do a little giveaway. So I on Twitter right now, I have a vote going on what the giveaway is. So, make sure you guys vote if you haven't already. The vote is for either Crash Bandicoot for the PS4 or Final Fantasy 12 for the PS4, $60 PSN, or Splatoon 2 for the Switch. So those are the choices. And if you aren't already, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Persona_YT. Also, make sure you follow the official Online Arcade Twitter at the Online Arcade. Shout out to the Online Arcade boys. Shout out to my Mog boys out there. This weekend we also got 2 tournaments happening. We got the King of Fighters 14 tournament, which is going to be Saturday, and then we have the Chaos Code tournament, which is going to be Sunday evening. The King of Fighters tournament is going to be Saturday. That's going to be hosted by Bari. I'll be co-hosting that, and that's going to be streamed on his channel. And the Chaos Code tournament on Sunday is going to be hosted by Mr. Official VG, and I'll also be co-hosting that as well. So make sure you guys do support those 2 tournaments, even if you just come in to look. It's definitely appreciated if you pop in for a minute, leave a like, whatever the case may be. It's definitely appreciated, honestly. So thank you guys for that. Again, make sure you follow the Online Arcade for all your updates on any tournaments that we're doing. Tomorrow night, Bari is going to be doing the King of Fighters and Chaos Code explanation stream. I'll also be a part of that, and we'll obviously be going over the rules and how everything goes with these 2 tournaments, like we always do. It's tradition now. With every tournament, we always do an explanation. Even though the rules is there plain as day, we still do the explanations because people like to watch a video as opposed to just reading the rules. So we do that every tournament. And what else is there? I'm trying to think. Make sure you guys go check out Mr. Official VG's new video on Japanese games and Kingdom Hearts. He definitely had a lot of good points, and his video definitely helped me kind of brainstorm some ideas of my own and stuff like that, and spark some good conversation pieces. And we definitely will be talking about that on Mog this Saturday, so you guys don't want to miss that, because the Mog, I know they got some shit to say. Especially Demi. I know he's gonna take the peaceful route, but I know he's still gonna have a lot to say. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it, man. When Persona Speaks episode 4 is in the books, man. Again, I thank you guys for supporting my channel. If you are new to the channel and you like my content, like, comment, and subscribe. To all my regulars, I appreciate y'all too real. And yeah, man, like I always say, I'm just a gamer trying to share my experiences with the world. And with that being said, Persona is about to play some games. I'm about to stream some Destiny 2 for a little bit. And if Kev gets home in time, we'll probably play some Blaze Blue or something for a little bit. And yeah, with that being said, man, I'm out of here. You guys have a great night and enjoy the rest of your week. Peace.